Words in Italian today. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to bear with my French and English accent. I speak a little bit more Italian, but I think for you it's better if I speak in English. So bear with me. I'm very, very pleased to be here with you, because you don't know me yet, but Milano for me is a very unique city, close to my heart. My oldest son studied and graduated from La Bocconi international section, so he spent 3 years in Milano, and so I will travel to Milano very often and visit the city. So I'm very, very pleased to be here with you. And just to give you a little bit of background, I used to be in your shoes. I'm still the CMO of Contentsquare. I've been the CMO of Contentsquare for 2 years now. So I use Contentsquare every day on my website to improve it. So I am in your shoes. I'm customer zero. But also, I was a customer. I led and run Microsoft.com and the direct-to-consumer business. And so I was a customer also of Contentsquare at Microsoft. So that's just about me. So you know what I did and why I love Milano. So now, let's talk about experience, intelligence, the agentic revolution. Big words. Yes, I know you can't go to a conference where we don't talk about AI. But today, we are going to talk about AI. We are going to show you practical AI, AI that delivers value, AI that you've been using, and AI is probably going to change your lives and our lives and the analytics life. So we're going to talk about it, and you're going to tell me at the end if you now can see the true value of AI. Let's start with a very simple truth. What do we want? All, less friction, more flow, seamless experiences. We want delightful experiences. And what do customers tell us? What do you tell us? Conversion rate in store, 30%, that's okay. Online, 3% of total traffic, and even, it's a good number, not everyone is at this number. And still, you've invested millions, you have big teams, still 40% of sessions ends up in frustration. Customers can't achieve what they do. So we've made digital experiences faster, prettier, but they are not so much better. So let's do a quick, you have your bracelet. I don't have my bracelet. You have your bracelet. Who had a bad customer experience recently? Who has closed the website because too many pop-ups, too slow, didn't work? Where's your bracelet? Whatever, green, blue. Who has done it? No? Okay. Only a few people have closed the website in the last few weeks because it was bad. So we still see too many of that. So that's why we are here, to help you. But having a customer experience that works for all customers is hard. Let's take an example and why it has to change. If you want to organize a trip, let's say to Lake Como, let's pick something close. What's the experience? You're going to open multiple pages on flights, airlines, hotel, maps, reviews, rental cars, blah, blah, blah. I can keep going. It's going to take you hours. It used to take you hours to organize it. Now, what do you do? What I did last week, not last week, a couple of weeks ago, just want to go to Lisbon. I want great food, of course, I'm French. I want great food, it doesn't matter. I want a nice place, I need a bike. It was probably 5 times faster. It curated the experience for me. And so, the experience of today and tomorrow, it is going to dramatically change. And we're going to show you today some examples, and I know some customers. It's going to be hybrid, web, mobile, agents, conversations. And so to solve it, we have to go back to basics as digital analytics experts. So let me explain to you what do we mean by going back to basics. A website. What is a website? It's basically different pages, PDPs, product category pages, landing pages, content hub, carts, and so on. So let's say roughly you have 20 types of pages. Each pages, you have on average 20 elements, features, headers, footers, product grids, carousel, blah, blah, blah. Pricing, shopping, you get it. Another 20 elements. Each element, you have 20 metrics, roughly you can look at. Attractiveness, engagement, load time. I can keep going. Conversion rate. So let's go. Math camp. 20 by 20 by 20. Who can do the math? How many KPIs do you have? Yes. Good job. 8,000. But it's just the beginning of the complexity you have to manage. If you add all the other dimensions, error, load times, pricing, what product assortments, people going back and forth, returning, and so on, that's another 10 dimensions. So basically, yes, that's a total number. All the combinations you have to manage, the complexity you have to manage on your website, mobile apps, that's this big number behind me. I can't read it. It's no human size. Maybe a data scientist can, but I cannot. It's too much. So what does that mean? That's the world of analytics today. Random, binary nightmare. And it's the reality of analytics. It's too complex. It's too hard for you to move from data to insights to action to business outcome. Because you all tell us what we want, more conversion rates, better engagement, better NPS. And it's hard to do. And who's going to solve it? Who's going to make it easier for you? AI. AI is the only, an algorithm is the only way for us as digital analytics leaders to be able to, improve the customer experience. And I think it's an opportunity. I talked to some of you. I think AI is really an opportunity for data analysts, business analysts, and e-commerce leaders. And we're going to show you why. You're still with me? So what's happening now? What have we been doing at Contentsquare? The shift is happening. And I'm just going to give you a small framework, and then we'll go into demos. First, we have the assistant. Everyone is familiar with assistant, chatbot. You ask a question in natural language, it's reactive, you ask. We're moving to agents. Agentic is very different. They help you decide. They maybe are going to take action. They are proactive. The next step is automation at scale. It means agent talking to agents, orchestration of processes. Maybe each unique experience is going to be customized. So that's going to be the new stack of experience intelligence. So Contentsquare, what did we do last May? We introduced Sense. Sense is our AI chat. And it's basically, you can ask Contentsquare in natural languages. You can ask any question, and it's going to answer you in natural language. Let me do a quick show of hands. Who has been using Sense AI recently? Raise your bracelet, whatever the color. OK. Yeah, OK. That's good. 10, 20% of the room. When I get out, I want to make sure it's more 80%. You have to use it. You have to use it. It's going to change your lives as marketers or analysts. And let me show you with a quick demo what happened. First, that's the number of queries. We launched a product in May, 100,000 queries you made in Contentsquare. And each query you make, it helps us make the product better. That's not hype, that's usage. 80% of customers have used it. So I think Italy may be a bit behind. I'm joking, but I think you may be a bit behind. 80% of our customers have been using it, so go try it. And so what is it? We've been improving it, as I said, and let's do a quick video. I'm going to comment. So if we are introducing now Sense Chat 2.0. We've added more capabilities, more intuitive look. You just ask your data analyst a question, and you get the answer in seconds. You can see here on the chat. We've added zoning capabilities, so it's going to do the zoning on the left. That's what you can see. It's going to do the zoning for you. And something very cool. At the end, because we know what kind of questions you are asking, it's going to offer you a couple of questions to follow up with. So that's a way for you to be more productive and to get faster from data to insights to actions. So that was Chain Chat and what we just launched, Evolution. But we also brought Sense to session replay summaries. Who remembers the session replay time, trying to watch session replays, what customers are doing and scrolling, very slow, very painful. Now we introduce session replay. Sense is doing a summary for you, as you can see behind me. And summarizing multiple sessions became very quickly the most used features. You told us, hey, I want to summarize all my daily sessions. What's happening? And so I'm very excited to tell you that starting today, you can summarize up to 100 sessions at a time. And it's free. It's including in your Contentsquare Pro and Enterprise plan, so you have it today. And how much savings? A lot of customers tell us, hey, what's the ROI? What's the return on investment of using Contentsquare? That's the number of hours saved by using Sense, summarizing your sessions, 74,000 sessions. And you can see 31 full-time employees. AI is taking the boring stuff out of your job and our jobs. So that's just, again, the beginning. That's what we announced, but there is more coming. Sense chat, mapping assistant we're going to talk, error summaries also. Now the error summaries, when you have errors, it's being summarized and sent to a Jira ticket. But we have much more to come. And I think you're going to have an Italian speaker back on stage. And please welcome, join me in welcoming Federico. Welcome.
Grazie JC. Mi sentite? Sì. Allora, before to switch to English, piccola introduzione in italiano. Visto che il nostro speech di prodotto oggi è in inglese, con due speaker in inglese, io ho un ritorno in cassa un po' fastidioso, mi è stato chiesto dalla regia di parlare in inglese. Quindi avrete questo speech in inglese con un simpatico accento tipicamente British di Palermo. Grazie. Volevo l'applauso su questo. So now let's switch to English and let's talk about what we are introducing in terms of what is new on the Contentsquare platform. Before JC, both JC and Eugenia, they were mentioning the keyword here is acceleration. We are going in a direction in which we are moving super fast from AI assistant, a question, an answer, AI agent, an input, an output, and AI automation. Automation means a connected ecosystem, fuel with automation to drive personalization. But now, inside this process, how Contentsquare is evolving our solution and our offer to you. First of all, let's start from the second step, AI agent. This is usually a typical plan where you have to start to work on analytics. You have to think about the tagging plan, PII masking, configuration, working on design, on creativity, A/B test, so on and so forth. As you can see from this list, this is just a summary. It could be extremely time-consuming, all this activity, of course. But we decided to leverage AI automation in order to help you to save time and drive operational efficiency. So we're not working just on having a chat that gives you results, but something that can really automate some of the tasks in order to help you to cut in costs and drive operational efficiency. For example, let me introduce our new functionality about automated mapping. Automated mapping is basically when you analyze data, the challenge number one in order to generate insight is to categorize pages. For example, I want to get insight about my checkout, my PLP, my PDP, so forth and so forth. This is extremely time-consuming, reason why we decided to automate it. Now it's going to start a video. So let's say that you want to analyze focus on your PLP. You can just write a prompt, and then you are going to see that we are going to categorize all your pages, in this case, the different category of shoes product, in an automated way. This type of task in the past were totally manual. Manual means time-consuming, and you can have a lot of error because you're doing manually the categorization of data. This means not just saving time, but also having better insight. By the way, this feature is already available if you want to use it. And now, of course, then you can get from the categorization to the data directly from the platform. You have the insight directly categorized, and then you can compare it. This, of course, when you hear someone in a conference, you can think, OK, this is your point of view, Federico. This is something you are saying to us. You save time. You cut cost. So you don't have to believe me. And generally speaking, is good. There is my manager list. Let me come back to the previous slide, sorry. These are the feedback directly from our beta tester, our client, as you. The tester, they tested the automated mapping, and as you can see, the insights are pretty straightforward. We save time, we have better insight, and it's an automatic assistant for us. But now, let's move to something bigger.
Better.
Better. Bigger and better,
Yes.
both. So far we have seen, if you remember the 3-step of the AI, it was chat with an AI assistant that was presented before by JC. Then, second step, to have an agent doing some action for you, but we want to go further with automation. Imagine to have a totally automated team of analysts working for you day and night. Do you think it's feasible? Of course, it's a rhetoric question. Domanda retorica. The answer is yes. So let me introduce our big release Sense Analyst. Sense Analyst, I'm going to show you in a couple of seconds, is really a revolution on the analyst market. Maybe revolution is too much as a word, but it's something really impactful for many reasons. First of all, behind there are 10 years of data experience of Contentsquare, so coming also from our database and our experience. And this totally automate all the tasks. Imagine like usually when you need to run an analysis, you have to ask an analyst to create an analyst plan, then work on the insight, and then create a report. So far correct. All this activity could be automated. And I'll show you why. How, not why. For example, I want to ask how I can improve my checkout, I can improve my revenue. Let's go. What we are going to see. Of course, the analysts need time to load. Or simply, I have just to check. I have just to click. So, first of all, the analyst create an analyst plan. So what I want to analyze, for example, I want to identify the key drop on the key pages. Then use the key feature of Contentsquare to run analysis. Analyze the journey, the funnel. Basically, he used the tool, the Contentsquare solution for you, as you can see. You have a report. For example, also can summarize session replay for you and analyze key pages, identify and classify key area inside the pages, and give you insight for optimize the performance. As you can see, usually, what you are seeing right now is the work, or at least 1 week, more or less, on average, of analysts. This is, I think, that everyone, of course, with different competencies in terms of dropping, can use. Everyone has a dedicated analyst team, as you can see, running all the analysis for you. And our analyst is not going just to use Contentsquare and generate some analysis for you, but at the same time provide you also recommendation. But before to show you the recommendation, I would like just to say one thing that for me is very important. This type of solution have a business impact on the time to value. What is the time to value? I buy a solution. Usually when I buy a solution, then I need to be trained for a solution. And then I start to generate insight from this solution. Here, as you can see, you can generate value from day one, even without knowing the solution. There is the analyst running the analysis for you. And of course, he can schedule your report. And you have your report on your mailing box with all the insight and the potential optimization. I know that some of you are scared because they're thinking maybe I'm going to lose my job, me too, but that's another story. Of course, here the key topic is also the quality of the insight, but it's not something that I'm going to discuss together. How you categorize well the insight, give better data for the analyst, for an IE. But then, we want to do more or not, JC?
Even more.
Rhetoric question once again. Let's do more. So what we have seen so far is a part of the automation, but then we can go even further. A request that we receive from our client from all over the world is, the question was, which are the key tools right now on your day-to-day basic? And the answer was, of course, AI tool. I use Gemini, I use ChatGPT, also me in my private life, of course, Microsoft Copilot. And it's pretty normal because you can do different stuff. An example, I use Claude, and I ask Claude to check if there was some ticket about one particular bug on my website. I use Claude in order to ask Optimizely or A/B testing to create a feature flag. Or I ask Claude to integrate with Contentsquare and check the frustration score. How I can do this? How I can integrate different systems? You already heard about MCP, Model Context Protocol. You are going to hear more and more about it. MCP, basically, it's a protocol to make dialogue different AI system. And I give you an example on how we can create an aggregated ecosystem integrating more tools, including Contentsquare. So I'm going to show you our new, what we are working on in terms of integration of MCP models. So, this time was right, you see? Click. Let's say that I want to ask with Claude, with my integration with Contentsquare, what was the average frustration score last week? OK, I see that there was a frustration score that was rising, and because there was a technical error. Step number 2, I asked Jira if someone was taking care of that error. There was a ticket, so the ticket was closed, so if my team was managing or not the error. Then, OK, I received the information that someone was taking care of the error. Next step, what's the impact on conversion? And I can see the result. But what is here the key message? In one platform, in this case it's Claude, but could be also ChatGPT, for example, you can get data from different data sources, an actionable tool. You have business and behavioral data from Contentsquare. You have technical data from solution as Jira. And you have, of course, action data coming from actionability tool. Everything in one place, thanks to the MCP. Once again, drive efficiency, reduce cost, as always and ever in life. And then, JC?
Thank you, Federico.
It's up to you.
I don't know how you do it. You speak faster in English than in Italian, but that was pretty impressive. So just to wrap up, you saw a lot of innovation. And again, we are bringing this innovation to make your life easier and for you to be more efficient. At the end of the day, what really matters is the business outcome. And just so, what we just announced and you just showed, Sense Chat, Error Summaries, Mapping Assistant are all available in your current plans. So please test it. You just have to click a small box, I accept the AI conditions, and you can use it on Contentsquare. Sense Analyst and MCP support that Federico just demoed is available as early preview. It's a private beta, so please, if you want to be part of it, just ask your account team Contentsquare rep and we'll help you. But there is even more. Because for a good AI, a good agent to work, what do you need? You need data. And your AI is only as good as your data. And we're going to have another amazing speaker, very different style, but please welcome Seb to talk about the next step.
Thank you, Jean-Christophe. Hi, everyone. So Federico had the chance to talk to you about the AI and the cool stuff. I'm going to talk about data, which is probably potentially a bit less cool, but that's going to be my job to make it a bit cooler for you. So as we said, data is at the core of everything. And that's something we understood pretty early at Contentsquare, and data is in our DNA, sorry. And so for this, we created a technology that is allowing you to capture the data you need And we make this data reliable, complete, and easily actionable. We wanted to make it simple for you. So everyone on the market provides manual tracking and manual capture. We are now having the best auto capture on the market, and we've made it easy for you. We want this data to be easily available to you right away, so you have a time to value that is shorter as possible. We've also made it as complete as possible, whether we talk about session replays, error tracking, behavioral data. We make all of this available to you easily, so you have all the data you need to analyze and optimize your customer experience on all your digital assets. But actually, when we talk about data capture, we should not ignore mobile and the mobile application. We're all spending a lot of time on all our smartphones and mobile devices. And actually, in the last few years, your user traffic has shifted from web to mobile apps. So it's super important that we make sure that those analytics tools like Contentsquare are not lagging behind compared to the web analytics for mobile apps. And I'm super happy to tell you that this is possible today with Contentsquare. We provide you a clear and complete visibility on everything that your users are doing on your mobile apps. So you understand what platform they are on, what journeys they are doing on your mobile app, why they are returning on your mobile app, or what frustrations they are encountering on the mobile app and why they are leaving. So we're giving you all the tools you need to analyze and optimize your mobile app traffic. And actually, I'm super happy to announce today that we're even getting further compared to other actors on the market, because we're now supporting, among the usual framework that you know for mobile app development like Android, Vue, Flutter, React Native, and others, we are now supporting auto capture on Swift.UI, which is very well spread on the market. So with this, you can automatically capture all the tabs, the screen views, and all the field changes and more that is happening on the mobile app directly with Contentsquare. What it means for you, it's actually faster deployment, less technical efforts, and an immediate availability of data for you to do analysis and get insight. So again, we are shortening the time to value for you for these mobile apps. So we've talked quickly about the way we make the capture of the data pretty easy for you and how we make this data available to you. Now let's talk about how you can use this data. And there's many ways we can do it. I mean, because those behavioral data that we're talking about, which are the ones that tell you what customers and users are doing and why they are doing it, are quite often more powerful than the demographic data that you use, which tells you only who they are. And there's many ways of using this data. One way is leveraging the more than 150 out-of-the-box integration we have with many tools on the market, and a lot of you as customers are already leveraging this. But I want today to talk a bit more to the data teams that we have in the room, because we've had a lot of requests from new customers on how I can leverage those behavioral data captured by Contentsquare in my ecosystem outside of Contentsquare. And actually, I'm very pleased to say that it has never been easier than today with the launch of Data Connect. Data Connect is going to be automatically sending your behavioral data captured by Contentsquare into your enterprise data warehouse. And we support most of the data stores on the market like Snowflake, Databricks, S3, and you name it, many different data stores. This new capability of synchronizing your data from Contentsquare to your data warehouse is fully self-service. And you can set it up in minutes. And it gives you the ability to access the data in logical tables that are ready to use in your data warehouse. You can even define very simply in Contentsquare which metrics you want to synchronize with your data store. You can even create your own custom events like page click, screen views, and you get all of this available directly in minutes in your data warehouse. So for the data teams, this is a huge accelerator to leverage this data on use cases that are spanning the entire ecosystem of your company. Through this, we give you the granularity and the full control in self-service mode. And I'm insisting on self-service because it's in your hands. It doesn't require any technical effort. When we talk about Data Connect, I would like to share an example of customers that most of you know very well, Accor. We all have been to some Accor hotels in our life at some point. And actually, they've used Data Connect, and they've been helped by an agency called Tiga to create an internal AI agent that is accessing the Contentsquare data as well as other sources, and making this data available directly in Figma for their designer to build new mockups and new prototypes. So we're bringing the data, the behavioral data, where you need them. The gain is just amazing in terms of productivity. So accessing the behavioral data captured by Contentsquare has never been more easy than today with Data Connect. And by the way, Data Connect is something you can try if you connect to your Contentsquare project. As we're talking about sharing the data of Contentsquare among your ecosystem, let's talk about another use case that you're very familiar with, A/B testing. As Jean-Christophe and Federico shared, Contentsquare is now giving you automated recommendation on how to optimize your website and your mobile app. But sometimes it's a bit cumbersome to actually execute those optimizations. We're making it very simple. It's not the case anymore when it comes to A/B testing. With a single prompt or directly from the Sense Analyst that Federico just demoed, you can now easily create a new test in your A/B testing tool. Let's look at an example. Here you can see a website where our best sellers are driving a lot of engagement, but they are actually below the fold. I want now, with a simple prompt, create an A/B test which will directly move up those best sellers into the page. The only thing I have to do is to write my assumptions, explain the test that I want to do, and we're going to send this setup directly to the A/B testing tool, in this case, Chameleon. What Chameleon will do then is analyze the code of the page, identify the changes that need to be done in the page, and create directly the new test and the new experiment that you can test. So it means that in minutes, we've been able to move from the optimization of the insight, from the analysis, to the code and to the test without any friction, with no back and forth, and it has an immediate impact on the performance of your website. This, what I've just showed with Chameleon, we're working with Optimizely and other A/B test partners that are also in this room to make it available for all of you. But we haven't stopped here, because we wanted to close the loop. We accelerated or we speed up the time from the analysis to the code to the test. We want to close the loop with easier reporting. So we've made a lot of improvement into our A/B test dashboard templates. So now you just need to select the test. You need to select the control, and we're going to generate automatically all the graphics that you need to analyze the different variants on the key metrics of your website. So this workflow of A/B testing, even though it's not yet fully automated, it's close to be actually, and it's a huge gain of time for you as well, because you can automate those tests more efficiently. So I hope I was able to make data a bit cooler so far. And I've shared how easy it is to capture the data with Contentsquare, how you can share this data and action this data in your ecosystem. Let's talk about a few new analyses that we're giving you the ability to use at the user level. You know Contentsquare a lot for its visualization analysis. We talk about journey analysis, the sunburst, zoning, session replays, and so on. We've now been adding product analytics capabilities that are giving you the ability to do user-level analysis. So I'm going to start with the acquisition analysis, and it's going to give you all the insight you need to understand where your users are coming from. And we give you the ability to actually customize the traffic sources using simple rules. So for example, you can now easily isolate all the traffic that is coming from those AI chatbots, like ChatGPT, for example, and you can see the evolution of this traffic over time. So we're making it, again, very easy for you to configure and to set those rules so you can isolate the different traffics that you have on your website. You can even go deeper in creating audience, user-based audience, based on the analysis you need to run. We have some predefined segments, but you can also create your own segments based on the user behaviors. But moreover, we're giving you the ability to look at specific user journeys, like this, for a specific user, you're going to be able to see all the sessions and using the Sense AI capabilities, summarize all these sessions in a natural language that you can easily understand and analyze. And we're even getting further, giving you the ability for the known user, if you're using the identify capability, to then create an audience of known people and then export it to your, for example, your marketing automation tool and run some campaigns for promotional codes, for example. So we're getting further with the user-based level. So there we are. What we've seen so far is the highlights of our latest launch with new AI-powered capabilities, with new product analytics features that are helping the marketing and the product teams to get faster insight, but also better ROI across the board. And more importantly, we've seen how we'll make it easy for the data teams to leverage the Contentsquare data outside of Contentsquare within your ecosystem. So now I just want to come back on something that Jean-Christophe said earlier in his presentation. You said that the customer experience is becoming much more conversational today. Federico showed you how we're making Contentsquare more conversational with Sense Chat and Sense Analyst. But can you talk us about what we're doing for the conversation that their customers are having with their brands?
I'm going to do that, but first, thank you, Fred.
Thank you.
Seb. Conversations. I do personally believe, I'm sure you can see the numbers here. Everyone has been using ChatGPT. You see the number of active users. I do believe our world, analytics, e-commerce experience, is going to be conversation first, very soon. If you think about it, you know, today you go on a website, you try to search, to find, you navigate, you browse. Why don't you start a conversation on a website and just say, hey, I want help. I want to buy this product. I'd like to learn more about your company. I want to apply for a job. So I think the engagement, the digital engagement we are going to have with customers are going to be much more conversation first, very soon, and it's coming fast. And you can see what Gartner is telling us here, 70% of interactions will begin and end with conversations. And so, pretty pleased and excited to announce one more thing. We just acquired a company called Loris.ai, and we announced it in August, but we just finalized the deal yesterday, so that's really today. And Loris.ai is a platform which role is to analyze customer conversation. So we are getting Contentsquare, we are getting into conversation. Our jobs is to make sure you can deliver the best customer experience wherever they are. If they talk to us, we want to make sure you get the analytics to do it. And so what is it doing? Loris.ai, it's a model. They analyze customer conversation. So if you talk to tell you why customers are reaching out, what are they saying to your chatbot or your agents? Are they satisfied with their experience? So it's really an AI model to analyze conversation and qualitative information. It's going to be able to give you, to generate a sentiment graph. So basically, it's going to let you know, hey, is my bot or my chat assistant helping customers? How is it going? Are they frustrated? Are they happy? And so real time, or almost real time, you'll be able to see what's happening and how customers are engaging with your web and digital properties. And finally, I know it was a lot, but if you take a giant step back, the experiences we all are going to deliver tomorrow, they're going to be hybrid. It's going to be inside conversation. It's going to be an agent to a website. I don't know if you saw, but you can now buy products from ChatGPT. I did it last week. I was in the US. I have a ChatGPT paid account. I bought something on Etsy using ChatGPT. I don't know if you know Etsy. I assume everyone knows Etsy. But Etsy is this artsy creator marketplace. I just type, hey, I want to buy a Star Wars figurine. I love Star Wars. I want to buy a Star Wars figurine. He gave me a couple of examples of Star Wars figurines on Etsy. There was a small button, which is buy. I click buy. I order my Star Wars figurine directly from Etsy. Done. Very seamless. I don't know if it's the future, but it was pretty efficient. Then if you want to feel better, I tried to cancel the order. I didn't want to have a Star Wars figurine at the end of the day. I tried to cancel the order and it was really painful. So they are not there yet. They don't know how to do returns. But it's getting there. The point being, the world is going to be very hybrid, agent to agent, agent to website. And we want to be there to support you, help you, deliver the best customer experience. So we announced a lot. And I'm going to wrap up. Yeah, I think that's everything you said. But Sense.ai, you saw. Data Connect, how you can leverage our data, conversations, and a lot of platform innovation that Seb and Federico covered. I want to give you a big thank you. It's been an honor to do a keynote in Milan. My son is going to be very proud of me. I'm going to be around, and I hope you can head to the product booth if you want to see some of the experiences, and thank you very much.